Hi there folks, my name's NovaWrap24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for all your simulation news and releases and goings on from the week that was. So this is the news for Sunday the 14th of February 2016 and happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there. Alrighty, let's get started, shall we? And of course, you know what? Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way first, shall we? Okay, so this week it became official. So finally, after about 2 years of speculation, Dovetail Games made a formal announcement that they will be releasing not one but two flight simulator titles in 2016. So they will be releasing Dovetail Flight Simulator at the end of 2016, but before then we will be having Dovetail Games Flight School. So Flight School is going to be a standalone title that is going to be released in the coming, well, there's actually, to be fair, they haven't actually confirmed a release date. They've sort of said, coming soon, but, coming soon in the developer world could be, anytime from, a week to, 6 months. So who knows when it's actually coming out. So it's going to be interesting to see, when it all comes through and stuff like that. But I think the primary thing here is that the press release was pretty clear, is that they're releasing two different titles aimed for two different markets. So it's this first title that's coming out, Dovetail Games Flight School, is a basic introduction to flight. To flying for any gamers or virtual pilots out there or virtual aviators out there that have been a little bit put off. And let's be honest, we're a bunch of, us flight simmers, we're a bunch of really, we're horrible people. We really, really are. We look at the things that we demand and some of the things that have, and we forget that when we first started, some of us who started back in, hell, there are those of us in the community who started back in the old Flight Simulator 1 days. When it was just amazing to have just something that worked. That was cool. That was amazing. And now people are demanding all this extra stuff, which, don't get me wrong, is great to have, but at the same time, we've got to think about all the people who want to get into our hobby and into our passion for virtual aviation, and trying to get them in a way that doesn't involve absolutely, bankrupting them to be able to make anything work. And let's face it, we're running an engine that's a decade old. So this is a really exciting time. I'm going to put my thoughts on this topic in another video. So that the video is going to be coming up in the next few days. But I just want to say that I'm excited to see that we've got something new coming. There's some interesting posts have come through in the last few hours. Actually, there's been an interesting post from a Dovetail Games representative, Martin. Dovetail Games Martin has actually officially posted on the forum thread, and actually basically said that third-party content's not coming. There's no plans for third-party content for Flight School. That's not to say there's not going to be, but Flight School is going to be a standalone experience. This is quoting Martin directly here. Dovetail Flight School, there are currently no plans to include third-party content in Flight School. This will really, that will really be a standalone. That will really be a standalone experience focused on learning to fly. Dovetail Games Flight Simulator is a different story. We will absolutely be working with third-party developers, just like we have been doing with FSX Steam Edition from Martin. So, I think that's an interesting point. But I'm sort of going to stop that stop that here as well, because at the end of the day, here's the thing. I don't like speculation. Annoys me. It really does. So I think we should wait now. Speaking of speculation, a lot of the questions that have popped up and a lot of the things, and I've been reading through the various forum threads and whatever, and God, some of us are pretentious bastards. We really are. Anyway, but if you want to have your questions answered, I highly encourage you. Dovetail Games is doing a live Q&A with Steve Hood, the creative director of Dovetail Games Flight Simulator, the Flight Simulator series. He is going to be doing a live Q&A on their Facebook page. So that's going to be happening February the 15th at 2200 GMT. 2200 Zulu. So I highly encourage everyone to jump on there, read the responses, ask you questions there. It's going to be a great place for you to get some information. And you'll probably find that I will be holding off my thoughts until I've seen the results of that Q&A as well. And as I said, I really don't like speculation, so I'm not going to go too much here. We're just going to look for that, go for there. So I'm going to pop the link to the Facebook page there and the events that they're putting on. I'm going to put that down there. So please have a look at that. and I encourage everybody to go along, even if just to read the responses, but definitely ask your questions. So, all right, elephant now put out of the room. Done. Good. Okay, on to other releases for this week. Okay, all right, we've had a couple of ambush releases this week. So. SimWorks Studios. So SimWorks Studios have been working on their F4B and N Phantom 2. Now, they've been working on this for a couple of years. A lot of developers, you know, I kind of like it when developers spend a lot of time on stuff. But anyway, so the F4B Phantom 2, originally scheduled for release back around Christmas, was delayed due to sort of undisclosed reasons, has now finally officially been released in the last few hours. So, but a word of warning, this has been released as an open beta, so it's not fully finished. So it is only coming available. It is only available for FSX Gold, FSX Acceleration. It is not. It's not compiled for F6 Steam Edition. They've been very, very clear for this. Also, not compiled for P3D. They've sort of said that yeah, it might work, but as far as they're concerned, they've only compiled it for one. So just FYI on that one. It is coming out with limited TAC pack functionality included already, as well as a few other toys in there as well. This has been something that I've been looking at a while. It's a fabulous time for Phantom fanatics. It really is, because we've had the Milviz have put their F4E and F4 S&J has come out over the last sort of few months, and now we've got the F4B and N out as well. So it's pretty cool, looking pretty slick as well. Hoping to bring you a review of that one in the near future. It's got my favourite colour scheme in there. It's got VF111, like Sundowners, so that's almost got me sold straight away. But yeah, so it's got authentic sound sets and all the rest of it. It's got again, professional flight dynamics model, all that kind of stuff as well. A lot of so they've gone to a lot of detailed work with the air file apparently, so to actually sort of bring that one. Now I do want to stress, and this is something that's common across all Flight Simulator, is that often these things are representations, of that. So and just like the Milviz one was a representation of the F4, a sort of a conglomeration of the F4S. The Milviz was a combination of the various versions within the F4E. This one is offering a sort of an averaging of the F4B variants. So it is sort of a compromise of what you can sort of get of everything like that. So. Just like for those who were going, this button's in not quite the right position. Yeah, okay, just shut up and deal with it. It's a Phantom. It's a fabulous Phantom. Deal with it. Anyway, all right. So SimWorks Studios have released. That is now available for €40, available from their website. If you want to know what you're getting into, they have also made the full manual available for free to download as well for you to get into. Alright, in other release news, this is very much another ambush release, this one. So, about a week ago, the guys over at Milviz said that they will shortly be releasing their HUN, or the North American Aviation F100 Super Sabre. So, it was essentially designed as a successor to the F86 Sabre, and they sort of said, yeah, it's coming soon, guys, it's coming soon. And then, whack! Here it is. It's arrived, and it is available now. This has been released with full TAC pack functionality again as well. This is available for $49.99 US. And also comes with full TAC pack integration as well. Something that was, interestingly enough, noticeably absent from their F4 Phantom range. Although it was originally promised, all mention of TAC pack support for it has sort of suddenly disappeared. But there you go. Again, Milviz has gone through and done like gone through the modelling, very high detailed modelling, gauges and all the rest of it. Gone through with actually, working with pilots who actually flew the aircraft as well. So going through and actually bringing the aircraft back to life. So pretty cool. This one is modeled specifically for the F100D, the Delta variant. Just for that as well, so it is going to go through that. So not going to have the for some reason my personal preference was the F model. Not really sure why, I just always liked it. But anyway, so the F100D is the one that is being modeled by this one and has been released fully compatible across the range of the ESP platforms. So everything from FSX Acceleration through Steam Edition and through the variants of P3D as well. So good to see that one coming along. Alright, that's pretty much that one there, done for that one. Right, what else have we got? So, we've got a few other releases. So, in the terms of scenery, so the guys over at Mega Scenery Earth, they've released, got a couple of new releases this week. So, their 4X range, which is their ultra high definition for their photoreal scenery. They've released two sets in the last week. So, we've got Mega Scenery Earth Connecticut and Mega Earth Scenery California, the lower southern region. So, for those of you who prefer your photoreal scenery over towards your custom auto-gen kind of stuff, these are available now for download. Again, these are pretty big and pretty hefty downloads as well, so just be aware of that one as well. If you're a previous owner of their version 2, prior to them going to the whole 4X HD stuff, then you do get a discount on that one, purchasing that one, as long as you purchase it through the same store as well. So there you go, these are available now. Yeah, just have a quick look at the downloads size. Connecticut's not too bad, it's only 5 gig, but yeah, SoCal, yeah, that's like 33 gig. Like, this is insane. It's rather huge, but anyway, there you go. Alright, moving on to back to aircraft releases. So for aircraft, another ambush releases this week. Seriously, ambush releases. The guys over at Batavia. So Batavia have been sort of producing quite a range of sort of moderately priced, but reasonable quality add-ons for quite some time. They've sort of been hinting at and releasing some working project pictures of their AJ2 Savage, which is possibly one of the most weirdest looking aircraft ever to operate off US carriers ever. They've been hinting at that for a while, and it's just sort of appeared out of the blue. Bang, there it is. Hello. So this one is available now. The AJ2 Savage, as I said, it's weird, it's wonderful. I like it just for that. It's got this weird hybrid mix of jet and piston engines, because when it came out back in the late 40s, going into the early 50s, and it soldiered on in service well into the 1960s. It was seen that the jet engines weren't quite fully mature yet for operation off aircraft carriers. So they thought, what's the best way to do it? Let's compromise and let's grab a couple of piston engines and strap some jets to it as well in the same nacelle and see what happens. And we got the Savage as the result. So this gave us a few different variants. So we've got both the bombing, photo reconnaissance, and the air-to-air refueler variants are all included. Full paint kit is also provided as well. Virtual cockpit only. So and all the animations that you expect from Batavia. As I said, Batavia's a good budget range, and I always like them as a developer because of the fact that they offer reasonably good quality products for a reasonably good fairly budget price as well. So having said that though, this one has come out at a slightly higher price. This one's come out at this one's come out in like the $30 sort of dollar, well, actually, no, it's still a reasonable price, $25-$30 range, so depending on your online retailer. So this is available now. Alrighty, and pretty much it's just all flight sim news this week. It really is not a great deal happening in other simulators this week. And in another random release as well. So we've also got another mission pack. So for those of you who enjoy missions in FSX as well, RDJ Simulations have released a sequel to their Mission F-18 pack that was released a couple of years ago now. They've released Mission F-18 2. So this is the Special Forces Edition one. This one looks a little weird. So, because in P3D version 3, we got the Avatar mode, and it seems that they've pretty much whacked that into FSX now. So, I'm not sure about this. I'm really not sure about it, but it could be intriguing, something a little different. But anyway, so you got a few things, a few sort of default missions and stuff like that with some droppable weapons. You get a dune buggy for the U.S. Marine Corps as well, so you can go exploring the places in dune buggy as well as flying around that. They've also included a USS Enterprise. So there already is an Enterprise, a very high quality, brilliant Enterprise from SDB, but this one's been put in here as well. So if you don't have that, you can also get it for this one. Definitely not to the standard of STB's one, just FYI, it's really not their standard. But yeah, you got over 25 missions are included, looking pretty cool. As I said, mission packs for me are a mixed bag. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't, but this one looks kind of interesting. As I said, the weird part is just getting this avatar, like the avatar mode, but in FSX. I want to get it just to see what it's like. I really do. So anyway, if you're willing to risk it, this is available now. So you can pick it up from your favorite flight sim retailer. Alright, in rounding out the news for this week, a couple of updates, a couple of update news items for this week. So Just Flight have updated their recently release of the de Havilland Devon and Dove. So they've updated based on they've listened to the community feedback, and they've actually updated some flight models. So you now actually get 3 flight models are actually included now, and you can actually choose between which one you want to go for. So you can either fly the original, or you can find one of the 2 updated ones as well. They've also made a few tweaks to with textures, the gauges, aircraft lights, a few other things. So great to see that the first service pack for that aircraft is out now. Great to see. Thanks, guys. For those of you who have the Just Flight Dove and Devon already, just log into your page and re-download, or alternatively grab the patch from their support page. In other news as well, the ongoing juggernaut of course, FSX, well, not FSX, but of P3D version 3 updates. So the guys over at Orbix have updated a few more of their airports as well. They've updated Sydney, Bundaberg, and a couple of others whose names escape me at the moment. Just jump on to Flight Sim Store and log into your Flight Sim Store account and grab the updated installers now. Alrighty, folks. So as I said, that pretty much wraps up the new simulation news and goings on for the week that was. Probably the last thing I want to touch on is that this week, the guys for fans of Elite Dangerous. So there's been some news released this week as well, just giving us a timeline of what we are to see for the future. So. What they've basically done is that, of course, we saw the first major expansion with the Elite Dangerous Horizons, which brought us, ability to land on the surface, use surface vehicles and stuff like that. But actually, Horizons was actually sort of just the first part of it. It's sort of a catch-all for the group of extra content that they're adding in. So if you got Horizons, you'll be getting all of this included with this coming out in the future. So we've got four mini expansions for the Horizons engine coming up very shortly. So the first one will be coming up shortly. So the first one is the Engineers. So it's got a new mission system with a new loot mechanic and a new crafting mechanic as well. So you can actually sort of customize your ship and stuff like that. This following one after that will be Guardians. So Guardians will be coming back where you can actually have ship launched fighters. So this has been something that's been alluded to in the description of I want to say the ASP, but I can't remember if it's the ASP or not. But there are a couple of ships in there which actually talk about being able to carry, smaller fighters and inside them. So this is something that's going to be able to finally be able to see and actually execute as part of the gameplay. That's going to be good coming up. And then the third part will be the Commanders. The Commanders will actually be a commander creator, and it will actually be able to share your bridge with a multi-crew and fly with friends. So you'll actually be able to have instead of just so there was of course the Wingman update in 2015, which allowed people to actually sort of group together and team up for bonuses. Now you'll actually be able to man the same ship, which is kind of cool, kind of interesting. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. Not quite sure if I like the idea of how I think it's going to work, but we shall see how they implement it. It'll be very interesting to see how Frontier implement. And then there's the fourth sort of additional content is still a TBA. It's still awaiting to be revealed, so we shall see what happens with that one there. But anyway, so yeah, 2.1 should be coming in the next few months, so keep an eye out for that on your Galactic News. There you go. Alright folks, well that does wrap up the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these news wraps and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me on all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.